How am I supposed to get anything done? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. A 1, a 2, a 3. I'm Christopher Walker. That's the worst impression I've ever heard. I have no clue what this makeup look is. Let's do it. Okay, so I lie. I had a starting point of inspiration. It just ended up going far, far from what I thought I was doing. I was inspired by Mad Max to do this messy, post-apocalyptic-y look where I wanted to add in the main color scheme of the movie to brighten it up a little. More on that later, but for now, that meant I wanted to go ham in giant eyebrows. Mainly to look post-apocalyptic tough, and also because I knew that they'd get lost in the future mess I'd be making with the eyeshadow anyway. Speaking of post-apocalyptic desert things though, don't stay out in the sun too long, kids. That's why my eyebrows were missing to begin with. Alright, now that those are bolder than the Impact font, I'm using a really light concealer to set a bright base for the shadow. Using a white primer or cream paint would also work well here. White bases are a good idea for when you know that you're using bright shadows because it's the difference of drawing on white paper with bright crayons or drawing on like a paper bag type color with bright crayons. They'll show up much more against the white paper, so the lighter the base, the more vibrant they'll be. Fluff off, Giant Bee! You can't see it, but there was a giant bee, and he was out for cold blood. So, back to those colors. The movie is color corrected very heavily for an orange and blue color theme, and that's an extremely common color combo in movies because they're complementary and they look sexy, but most movies do it more subtly than Mad Max. There's also a lot of yellows and reds that go around the oranges, and likewise greens and teals that go with the blues in the film, and this is where I went from Mad Max inspired to pretty much the whole damn rainbow. Whoops. So yeah, here you see me lining up the rainbow on my eyelids using Sugar Pills Pro palette and a pigment from Makeup Forever and some fluffy brushes. I did the color placement different on each eyelid because I wanted the color to show through differently on each eye once I threw a bunch of black eyeshadow all over my face. I did have a tiny bit of planning amidst the chaos. Then I started pulling blues, teals, and greens down below my right eye. When I think post-apocalyptic, I think industrial. When I think industrial, I think of rusty runoff and uneven textures, so if anyone is ever recreating this look, ever, just make a mess and have fun and stuff. That should be makeup's motto. And life. Yeah. I made the same but different mess on the other side using reds, oranges, and yellows. Do you guys say oranges or oranges? Or maybe there's an in-between of that one even. Like oranges. Orange or I can't even. Okay. Also, I know some of you have already written in the comments probably halfway through this video about the way I pronounce crayon. Yeah, crayon. What are you, a crayon kind of person? Accents are weird. I hope you don't mind this voiceover is basically just my own inner monologue and not a lot of detailed instruction. Seems more useful considering probably no one will actually be doing this to their face, probably ever, and or the look is more artsy than technical anyway. So, with that said, pineapples on pizza. The devil or the most delicious devil? Oh, I should also quickly mention, after having the bulk of the colors laid out, I went back in with an excessive amount of product on my brush and let that fall onto my face to give it some texture. It's like the one time you aim for fallout. When I was happy with my color mess, I started making a new mess with black eyeliner. I wanted to pull the black in between the colors to break them up a bit and give the overall of that grungy, dirty, might have stuck my face behind someone's post-apocalyptic dirt bike exhaust kind of look. Black shadow always sticks better if it has a darker base to sit on, so that's why I'm sort of roughly mapping that out first with the black liner. See? I even have desert dirt inspired nails. That was actually an accident. I got fake tanner under my nail and it never recovered. It's stained for life. I should probably just clip them off or call Christine, because it's fine for this look, but otherwise I just look like a filthy animal. But anywho, I used this kind of sparkly black MAC pigment first, but ended up using mostly a matte black melt shadow for most of this portion of the look. It is at this point that I'm wondering what my new neighbors must think of me as I sit outside doing this for all of them to see. You guys didn't need mascara instruction, right? That's good, because this little dog's trying to take over. For everyone who's about to ask in the comments what breed he is, he's an Alaskan Klekai and he's also a girl. Why does everyone think she's a boy dog? Is it because Ripley is a boyish name? Is it because you've never seen Alien? So then I glued on some eyelashes because, you know, eyelashes are such a focal point of this look. The addiction is so bad that even when literally no one would ever notice the eyelashes in this look, I still must glue them onto my face. My goodness. Also, where am I in my voiceover? I've lost my place. Yes, I write these out first because otherwise I would never stop talking. Oh, and then my indecisivity really came out. I thought about looking up that word to see if it's real, but I was too torn to do it. So I didn't know which kind of color would work best for this look, lip-wise. Something kind of warm and coppery, maybe something really nude and neutral, or something really gray. Solution? Put on all three. This is also around the same time this look went from accidental rainbow runoff to some strange version of a Mikey Quinn Joker. I extended the corners of my lips and then blended out the whole perimeter of my lips because, well, I don't really know why. Sometimes in life, you just don't get answers. Then I used Kat Von D's white concealer to add weird little streaks to parts of my lips because it was looking too flat to me. Honestly, I didn't really end up being a huge fan of the lips, but it seemed more fitting than taking it all off and then just doing something really clean and normal there. And let's be real, I was practically a clown at this point. There's no turning back from there. I liked the eyeballs though. I thought they looked pretty fun. I really wish more people walked around with this weird stuff on their face, like on a daily basis. Because we have a whole face, guys, and we choose to just cover mainly the eyes and lips in any color, if any. That's a lot of ways to canvas if you ask me. P.S. one more thing. If you said you hate pineapple on your pizza, your taste buds are fluffed up. Because it's fantastic.